Hi everyone, it says here is a pentagon. The angle A is equal to the angle C, the angle B is 155, the angle D is 3 times the angle C, and the angle E is 2 times the angle C. Work out the size of angle A. So just a little bit more confusing than this question sometimes comes up. So I've drawn a little sketch here to represent our pentagon. Now they tell us that first of all, the angle A is the same as angle C. So I've called that X. So just so that it's the same thing, X and X. And I think that's the key to this question, to be honest. Angle B is 155, so I've labelled that there as 155. And the angle D here, it says is 3 times the angle C, but I've called the angle C X there, okay? So if it's 3 times that, then that's going to be 3x. And it says the angle E is twice angle C. So that's going to be 2x because I've called that x. So I've labelled all of the sides now in terms of x, or what they actually are. The next step is, what is the angle sum for a pentagon? Now, a pentagon can be divided into 3 triangles. So 180 add 180 add 180 is 540. So the total angle sum for a pentagon is 540. So now we can write an expression to solve. So x add 2x add 3x add x add 155 has to equal 540. So when we add them all up, we get this expression. And x add 2x add 3x is 7x. So adding all those together gives us 7x plus 155 is 540. Take off 155 from 540, we get 385. And then we do 385 divided by 7, and I've used the bus stop method there. Okay, and I found out that 7 divided by 38 goes in 5 times, because 5 7s are 35. Take away the 5 gives us 3. Drop the 5 down. How many times does 7 go into 35? It goes in 5 times. So x is 55. But you may remember that the angle A was the same as x, so the angle A is 55 degrees there. So that's that one. A little bit tricky. I think that could cause some people to slip up a little bit there. Question 7. The graph shows the volume of water, V litres, in a tank at time t seconds. What does the gradient of this graph represent? It represents the rate of change of volume, because it is going to be litres per second. When you find the gradient, you've got litres per second. So it's only 1 mark, so that it would be the rate of change of volume. Question 8, what have we got here? The diagram shows a solid triangular prism on a horizontal floor. The face in contact with the floor is a rectangle of width 2. The pressure on the floor due to the prism is 80 newtons per metre squared. The force exerted on the floor is 720 newtons. Work out the length of the prism. Okay, so a lot of students find these a little bit tricky. It's not all students it's not an easy question, this, for most people. So let's have a look. Here's my little prism. There it is. I don't know how accurately I've sketched it there, but there we go. There's a rough sketch. Now that is 2, and we don't know what this is. I'm going to call that x. Okay, so this is what I'm shading is in contact with the floor. So here's our little triangle. I mean, I know they've been very kind and they've given us a formula, but pressure is force over area. Okay, so that means that area is equal to force divided by pressure. Okay, so area is equal to force divided by pressure, because when I cover that over, it's that divided by that. So my force, I'm told, is 720 newtons. My pressure, I'm told, is 80. Okay, so what I need to do is 720 divided by 80, and that's going to give me 9, because 9 times 8 is 72. So I have the area of that is equal to 9. So that means that the area of this rectangle is 9. So that means that 2 times x equals 9 meters squared. So therefore x must equal 9 divided by 2 meters squared. So x is 4.5 meters squared there. Okay, if that makes sense for question 8. Question 9. The cumulative frequency graph gives the information about the marks that 60 students gained in a test. for these 60 students, the highest mark was 74, the lowest was 8. On the grid below, draw a box plot for the distribution of marks. Okay, so what we have to do is quite a nice little question here for drawing a box plot. So what we would do, I'll just draw a rough sketch here so that you can kind of get the feel for what I'm doing. So here's just my rendition of the graph that we've got there. So there's our cumulative frequency, there's our mark. So first of all, we're told very kindly the highest and lowest, okay? So we know the lowest needs to be at 8 and we know the highest needs to be at 74. So we need three things now. We need our lower quartile, we need our median, and we need our upper quartile as well. So there we go. So this is going to be our lower quartile, our median, and our, that says MED, and our upper quartile. Okay, so how many marks? There's 60 marks altogether. So let's think about that. So I'm going to say that we're going to have to divide that by 4 to get it into our quartiles, okay? So we're going to divide it by 4. So we're going to have that 15 is going to be our lower quartile. Then 30 is going to be our median. 45 is going to be our upper quartile. And then, of course, the top of the cumulative frequency will be 60. So what you should do is you should go across at 15, go down and read off the value. So if we go across at 15, go down and read off the value, then what is that going to give us? That is going to give us, it looks like about 25. So go across at 15, go down there. Yep, that is 25. So you should get a value there of 25. We do the same for the median. So we're going to go across at 30 and go down there. And that looks like it's going to be there, which I would say is going to be 34. Okay, so that is 34 for our median. We do the same for our upper quartile. So we go across at 45, going across at 45, and going down, that can see that that is 42. Now, obviously I haven't drawn them on this graph over here, but to get the marks, I would be drawing lines on my graph like I've just drawn in this little rough sketch over here. So we've now got that our median, so we now have a look, oh, they've given the scale there as well. Wow, that's super nice. So therefore, you're just going to basically draw a line there at 25. You're going to draw a line there at 34. You're going to draw a line here at 42. Now, because I'm just doing it randomly on the paper, mine's not to scale. Okay, so, but just to show you what you should do. So on the grid that they've given you there, the one that goes 0 and goes up to 80 here, that's how you should plot it. Okay, that's quite nice. That's a nice little question there. So that's question 9 done. Right, now the pass mark for the test was 40. Sean, oh, I'm not sure how you pronounce that one. Anyway, I'm going to say Cyan. People will tell me in the comments how you meant to pronounce that one, I'm sure. 30% of the students pass the test. Is Sean Cyan correct? Okay, you must show how you get your answer, and it's worth 3 marks. So let's have a think about this. Right, so the Cyan's thinking that 30% of people of the 60 students passed the test. Okay, so we would need to have 30% of people passing the test. So how many people would need to pass the test then? Okay, so 10% of 60 is 6. So 30% is going to be, we would need at least 18 people to pass the test. Okay, now we have got how many people took the test altogether. So let's have a little think about what we're going to do here. So we need the 18 people. So Cyan's thinking that 18 people have passed the test because 30% of 60 is 18. So let's see whether the graph supports that. So if I was to draw a line going up, if the pass mark is 40 and I draw a line going up there at 40 and I go across there, I get here 42. Okay. So the number of people who pass the test is going to be 60 students minus 42, because I'm going up at the pass mark here. So I draw a line on the graph going up there, and draw a line going across here to 42 there. And 60 take away 42 is 18. So it turns out that Jean is in fact correct. Yeah. So yes, she is correct. There we go. All right, perfect. Right, that's that one done. What's next? Some little fraction. I'll do that one in the next video, I think. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you find these videos helpful, if you could like and subscribe to the channel, that would be great. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.